Okay, we're inside the show now, and this is a Wilhelm Gauss Vienna Municipal Ball from 1904. And here's a bit of footage from the early 1900s.
This is only 11 years after Queen Victoria's NGV celebration.
I was asked to make some remarks at the beginning here because this room maybe tells you a little bit about how deeply the modernism of Wiener Werkstätte, of Art Nouveau painting in Vienna, was rooted in the late 19th century, when Vienna was a building site for decades, and you know, the Ringstrasse, this boulevard with all the new prestigious and pompous buildings has been built. So, and it was a city which was had much more people living there than today. It was a city which 2 million people. It was one of the largest cities in Europe, and it was a city with a lot of immigrants from all over the monarchy, and it was a city of political diversity, and it was a city where, in many ways, it was a modern city. For instance, it was one of the first cities with a modern technical infrastructure, and Otto Wagner, who we see as an artist, he was a great architect, but he was also a functionalist. So he was asked by the city of Vienna to not to construct but to design the first public railway within Vienna, the Stadtbahn, and from our collection, where we are glad to have his drawings, or his firm's drawings on this wall. You see some examples. And well, Vienna was also modern in another way. It was a city.
A kind of abstracting quality, something incipiently modern in these works. But now I'm going to ask Chris to talk about Wagner, and in particular the design facade and the chairs that are in it.
Otto Wagner is really the big hero of modern Vienna. He can be considered the father of the modern movement in Vienna. He's the first one to address the fact that there is this discord between form and content in daily life. And he says that we must go away from the eclectic aesthetics of the period, which is not fit to a modern democratic society. And he gets the chair of architecture at the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna in 1894, and in 1896 he publishes a book called Modern Architecture, which can be considered as the Bible of the modern style in Austria. And in this book he publishes something like we could consider as the recipe how to get to the modern object or architecture, modern form. And I want to quote this because it shows us how modern is thinking. 4 points. He says, first you have to define the function of what you're going to design, if it's a building or a chair. Secondly, you have to define the technique you want to execute it in. Thirdly, the material. And fourth and last, the least important, is the shape, which he says runs out of the pen on its own. And so he's the first one also to define a style, not through form, but through function. And that's really his big achievement, function and aesthetics in Vienna. And so one of his really first, modern, I can't say building, but facade or public appearance is the facade for the news office of the daily newspaper Die Zeit in Vienna from 1902. The material it is executed in is a novelty. aluminium in itself is not a new material. It existed since the second half of the 19th century, but then it was extremely expensive, as expensive as gold nearly. But then after 1900, it became and what he was fascinated by with this material is that you did not have to polish it, but it was easy to care for. Also, what's fascinating with that facade is he just put it in front of an existing old building, and it's completely transparent. For example, the way he advertised it